Welcome back to it today. Well, another tumultuous week in Canberra, leadership spills, factional fighting and a new cabinet sworn in, all as the Prime Minister heads overseas. Joining us to discuss today's headlines is Independent MP Dai Le and ALP President Wayne Swan. Good morning to you both. OK, the Greens finally have a new leader. Not sure that either of you care very much, but Di, first to Susan Lee, now we've got Larissa Waters. Albo's the odd one out.
Yeah, look, it's of course the Labor Party supports women in leadership, and it's great to see the Greens doing that, and the Liberal Party is the first time they've got a Liberal a woman leader, so it's wonderful to see women in those positions, and hopefully that will change the culture, the debate, the conversation and the issues that we discuss in the Parliament. So I look forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Swanee, handy to have some mates in the Senate to help ram through some of those new policies, right, like the tax on unrealised capital gains.
Well, I think she's a great choice for the Greens. And I hope we see a lot more cooperation from the Greens in this Parliament. Last Parliament they held up critical housing legislation which denied investment in affordable and social housing. I think they'll recognise the government has a pretty emphatic mandate, and certainly we look forward to working with her.
All right, well, talking about denying investment, let's take off the Labor hat, if we can, for a minute and just put your other hat on. I mean, this unrealised capital gains tax on super isn't indexed. You run an industry fund, which won't necessarily be affected. Self-managed funds, though, that's a different story. They don't like it, neither does the business sector, and they're concerned this will stymie investment and growth.
Well, I don't buy any of those propositions. The fact is that superannuation tax concessions are there for people to have a dignified retirement. They're not funds where you squirrel away tens of millions of dollars and engage in...
We're not talking about tens of millions, though.
Well, you're talking about a lot of money, and there's a lot of funds with that amount of money in it as well. So the government shouldn't be giving concessions to people who have many millions of dollars squirreled away well before retirement to engage in other investment activities. They should be paying the appropriate tax on those funds. That is normal for any business activity.
Even if they don't have those gains realised yet?
Even there, because essentially these funds have become a tax avoidance mechanism. That's simply what it boils down to, because they're utilising concessions which are meant for superannuation.
Well, it's not until you sell that you actually make the gain. That's the sticking point. I mean, this is going to impact growth and investment, particularly, I guess, in the tech sector. And there are concerns that, you know, by its fourth year, this will rake in $2.4 million for the government, and then $7 billion in 10 years' time.
This is self-funded retirees. This is a small group of people.
It'll grow.
It'll grow, but I think these people have worked very hard, putting aside their money for the future, for the rainy days. So I think the government needs to really think about, you know, who are they going after, and trying to get tax. I mean, we know under Labor we're going to continue to get tax and tax and tax. So that's
we're
going to see how many
nonsense,
more.
Oh,
well, we know you guys taxes all the time, Wayne.
Tax avoidance is a problem in this country, and the government is dealing with that through this measure, and that's entirely appropriate, because we need to keep our superannuation system in top shape for average Australian workers who will not have tens of millions of dollars in a superannuation fund.
You don't avoid tax, do you? Of course not.
Of course not.
Rapid fire. All right, well, the PM sworn in, the cabinet is off and running. He's gone overseas. It seems he might be escaping the factional warfare in the Labor Party. I hear you laughing, Swanee. Are you making a joke of this? The knives are out.
Here we go again.
Isn't it time to move on from this infighting?
Well, there is no infighting. We've got 90 odd people in a caucus. We've got a cabinet of 20 people. There's intense competition for positions. I've never seen the Labor Party in a more positive manner. I've never seen the Labor Party as united as it is at the moment. There's an odd vote from time to time, and when people haven't got the numbers and there isn't a vote, some people will lose, and you feel very sorry for them, but that's the nature of competition.
Maybe Swanee's right. Maybe just factional assassins are just part of the
it is. It is part of the course, being part of the party. There is factionalism and the faceless men behind the party room doing all the deals. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Absolute power can absolutely corrupt. So, you know, we're going to be careful. There's so many numbers like that. You're going to make sure that you are there for the people at the end of the day.
Well, our democratic processes have formed a great cabinet. We're proud of what we've achieved and what we're going to do for the country, working even with people like Di.
Yes, I look forward to it. I look forward to it. Look, you know, I'm a collaborative person, and I look forward to the Prime Minister and the government working for the community of Western Sydney and Fowler.
Oh, you too. Gee, how we've missed the two of you on this show. It's wonderful to have you back, and do have a lovely weekend.